It's probably me being a scrub, but these games lately, probably the last 5 years, have been catering to the casuals, those who want easy wins by making it high damaging, where you can be rewarded decently for throwing something out. Even hit confirming has been made somewhat easier by the big loud sparks on screen, camera closing in, or a loud vocal counter. In counter hits, there's more, but let me keep it in a paragraph. Yeah, bro, it's whatever, man. It is what it is. Every competitive game is like that. I'm talking about what it was like now as opposed to old school fighting games. Old school fighting games were nothing like this. They want more people to play the game. These genres are archaic. You have to understand that. Fighting games have grown since the arcade era. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I started really taking fighting games seriously around Street Fighter 4, and that game, everyone was saying they were trying to casualify that game, and it was actually one of the hardest games to play for casuals because of all the barriers with one frame links and shit. I don't mind them giving accessibility to people, but they should allow for a better expression in the game. When you think about games like this, where you kind of preemptively do a lot of things in this game, you can react, but like the reaction, there's too many things to react to. And it's not just this game that does that. Street Fighter 5 is like that, where you can react in that game. You could hella react in that game. But there's a lot of bust out moves. A lot of moves that you just kind of do to get in the V-trigger and shit. And there's a lot of instances where like you hit somebody and it does a big flash on the screen. Street Fighter's like that too. Like, in general, these games are just going to be easier for people. These games are literally just going to be easier and easier for people because they want more people to play the game. Think about it, right? Like, let's say arcade games came out now, like X-Men Cross Street Fighter or Marvel Superheroes, Marvel 2, Street Fighter Alpha, right? Let's say all the old school boomer games came out now. Do you really think people would play them now as opposed to back then when they were only in arcades? I don't think so. The games would be too hard. And let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say all these games have rollback netcode, like they do right now where you could play them. But they came out now, right? Those games would come out, and I can guarantee you, nobody would play them like that. For how good we remember those games, no one would play them like that. But they would play these games. I'll tell you that. You just gotta hold that. Like, these games are here to stay. These modern day fighting games will continue to be what they are. And they're going to try to get as many people to play these style of games. I don't like the fact that, you know, they stifle a lot of creativity in some of these games, or they make it so, like, dumbed down in terms of approach. But it is what it is, you know? I would rather have people know my franchise and be interested to try the old shit through the new stuff than to be like, well, I'm too scared to play this game, it's too hard. I don't know if I have enough time to invest in it, you know. I have a life and stuff, you know. I want to like do other shit. My goal isn't to play these games like super hardcore. I just want to play. That's what a lot of people are like when they play these fighting games. Most people aren't trying to be like me, where they want to be like Sweatlord or like really strong at the game. They just want to play their favorite character. And that's the other thing too, when it comes to like favorite characters, people really want to play the lewd characters, the sexy characters, or like the hot characters. They want to play the characters that they identify with, the cool characters. They want to play like, they really just want to play what they like. It could be a cool character, a cute character, whatever have you. And they don't want to have to spend mad long to learn something complicated or crazy about that character to do the cool things that they see. Just remember, at the end of the day, why you play fighting games, right? Just remember what brings you back to them. And I think the other thing to remember too is remember the past. When you were crap at fighting games, what was that person like before the sudden drive to want to get better? This is to Cavallini and to everybody in the chat, even to myself, right? Before the drive to get better, you were just like any one of these dudes that I gatekeep out of this rank, that I have to chase down for matches because they don't want to play me, because they're scared of losing that rank because it identifies with how good they are. Just remember that when you played fighting games in the beginning, you played them because you liked the character, or you liked the animations, you liked how the game looked, you liked the aesthetic of the game that brought you into it, you liked doing the big cool moves. Shit like that. That's what got you into the game in the first place. That's what got everybody into the game in the first place. And then what made you stay was the social aspect of the game and the depth that the game had over the long term when you finally decided to take it seriously. You would have never played these games if they didn't appeal to you in some way outside of the mechanics. When I was with my cousins, all I ever did when we played Soul Calibur 2 was just do the throws. We didn't even know, like, oh, 2GI. We didn't know the guard impact stuff. We didn't know, like, the movement options with 8-way run. We didn't know any of that shit. I literally just played that game to pick Link and Ivy and just do grabs on people. And then we would play Keelik, and we would just hear him go, "Gomo!" and just do the stupid, like, spinny pole move. That's all we ever did. We didn't, like, play the game, like, on a competitive-ass level. So that's the thing that you have to understand. The casuals still have the magic of fighting games in them. The magic of why you like fighting games in the first place. It's also why I think with Marvel Infinite, with games like that, for how crap they look, so many people decided not to buy it. Even though if you play that game is actually fire to play. It's actually not that bad to play at all. Like, as a fighter. Like, it's definitely a fun game to play. But everyone wrote it off because, you know, it looked like ass. Chun-Li looked like hot garbage. Stuff like that. So, you need to have the game look good. You need to have the game appeal to people. And that's just what it is. And most people are not going to look at the more in-depth stuff when they see this game. What they're going to look at is Ino's big tits, Giovanna's big tits, Millia's fat ass. They're going to look at Soul bad guy and how cool he is and how he just explodes you in the 80% and you don't even know why. You're just going to look at Kai as the pretty boy. You're going to look at Mei and you're going to be like, oh, she's cool. Everyone says Totsugeki in chat. Everybody just spams like, Totsugeki, she sounds so cute. I want to do the dolphin move, right? Like, that's what everybody talks about with this game. Deadass. When I watch people, like, talk about this game on Twitter or meme it up on Twitter, or I see regular people talk about this game, it's just about the aesthetic of the game. It's not even about, like, the mechanical stuff. That's what we play for. That's what you in the chat that probably are, like, really good at the game, Evo finalists, and me, that's what we play for. So, I'm just really letting you know right now, that's really all it comes down to. And developers know that. They know that the aesthetic is what's going to carry it. Look at Dragon Ball FighterZ. Look at this game. Look at all the ArcSys games of the past. All of those games, chat. For what it's worth, some of those games are like, you know. I don't really like Dragon Ball. There are people that do. But there are some people that really complained about that stuff. About, like, Super Dash or the scramble nature of that game. There are a lot of people that complain about Street Fighter V. There's a lot of people that complain about, like, a ton of things with multiple games. But they put it behind them because at the end of the day, they just like the aesthetic of the game. They like how the game looks. They like how the game, like, is on a standpoint, right? The game has to be aesthetically pleasing, responsive, and allow for social interaction. Those three things, to me, is what make a fighting game now in the modern age very successful. Personally, to me, the tech skill, the execution, all that other stuff, it sucks because that kind of gets thrown to the wayward a little bit. It's not that stuff doesn't exist at all, but these games are getting easier, right? Because it's trying to accommodate to the regular ass people coming to the game. So the hardcore players kind of suffer because of that. So it's the same thing like with spectating the game, right? They want Soul to do like 80%. They want these big blowout comebacks. They want these characters to look crazy because it creates drama. It creates stories for people to watch. Like, you're gonna laugh when Soul bad guy does an 80% combo on you. When he does an 80% combo on a player and they're just like, I see Diaphone when he plays, and he just gets bodied by Mei. Like, he tries to outplay the Mei player, and all the Mei is doing is Totsugeki, Totsugeki! And he's just sitting there, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And then he's just like, he has his face palming and shit. People love that. And it is what it is. So it's definitely more about fun than it is about balance with these games, the more that you go into these games. That's all I really wanted to say. That's all I really want to talk about since I noticed your comment, Cavallini. And I'd like to say thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked what you heard, if you liked the discussion, please leave a comment down below. What do you think about fighting games being how they are right now with the way that they're so modernized and casualified? Do you think that the old school games would thrive right now? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you guys next video. Alright? I'll see you guys next time.